Sit back and hear a tale, tale of a podcast crew who gather around their minds to drink to give their point of view. As man is a panel fire, he shows that he has fun. And Donnie, our host, will jump along, guiding us through the storm, guiding us through the storm. Big teams are rock, he keeps us free, he often gets his say. And just alive, he knows the girls, they're living Dragon's way. They're living Dragon's way. The Mad Dragon podcast is a journey unforeseen. With man and Donnie to the moon. And makes with tea and cocoa. Just the start. Muzzle and the other crew. Here on the Mad Dragon podcast.
I haven't seen that yet. That's older than me.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mad Dragons podcast, proudly sponsored by Complete Warehouse Solutions. So, Complete Warehouse Solutions is a family-owned business with more than 100 years of combined experience. With over 15 years' experience in the industry, go see Jeff and the team at 6 Commerce Drive, Lake Illawarra. Give him a phone call on 0417 223 409 or 4257 1930. Okay, so this Friday night we head to McDonald Jones Stadium up in Newcastle as we take on the Newcastle Knights, battling for the Alex McKinnon Cup. Welcome to the panel tonight as well. We do welcome Daz, Big T, and Rob, and we also have Hasman.
Always on time.
Okay, so the show will be a little bit different tonight. Behind Enemy Lines will be rescheduled at the later time of 9:30.
What?
Big T will welcome our special guest then, but we'll stay alert and we'll talk a little bit of our team, and we'll hand over to Hasman, who'll run through the Dragons side to play the Knights on Friday night.
Alrighty, so this is how we're going to line up. So we've got Tyrell Sloan at fullback. The wingers are Michaeli Ravalawa and Zach the Trader Lomax. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about him later. Centers are Moses Sterling and Jack Bird. 5'8" is Kyle Flanagan. Ben Hunt is a halfback and captain. The front row, we've got Frankie Molo and Jack DeBellin. Jacob Little is a hooker. Second row, Luciano Ledor and Jaden Sewer. Tom Eisenhuth is the lock forward. And on the bench is Jesse Marshke, Blake Laurie, Michael Marlowe, and Raymond Fatala Mariner. And the coach is Shane Flanagan.
Yes, thank you, Hasman. So, an interesting team that Shane Flanagan has named for that game in the Alex McKinnon Cup. So we'll talk a bit about our team first. So, Rob, I'll start with you. So, Jack DeBellin starts into the front row this week, pushing Blake Laurie back to the bench. What are your thoughts on this move by Flano?
I think he's keeping it real with the pack. Obviously, we all saw Blocker probably didn't have one of his best games in this last game. But, look, I think I like the rotation now that he's doing. I think it's keeping it fresh. And I think DeBellin was chomping at the bit when he came on in this last match, and you saw the impact he had and the game he had. I'll probably even played more minutes than what he usually does when he starts, but I don't know. I think Flano's it's good tactics, you know what I mean? I don't see it as being a worry or a poor thing, and obviously with Blocker, he might come on inspired as well too, if you see where I'm coming from. So. And then maybe he's looking at the Knights. Could be wet weather as well too. Obviously, there's a lot predicted that he wants to tighten it up with the defence. Obviously, JDB is probably one of our best defenders and around the middle. So I foresee maybe that might be a little bit of the reasoning why, mate.
Yep. I'll move on to you, Dad. So Hame Sele's been dropped to 18th man. Michael Molo earns a recall in his place. Are you surprised by this call? Are you happy to see Michael Molo back, or do you think it could be due to the lack of minutes that Hame Sele got against Manly? He only got 26 minutes in that game. What are your thoughts on Sele missing out?
Well, Sele was a little bit quiet. And and I do rate Michael Milo as a player, but hard to say. He was a bit quiet last week, so maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe he didn't do the job that he was given. But Michael
Maybe he's not
Milo,
fully fit. He might be fully fit.
he did come back late, didn't he? From injury. So maybe they want to give him a bit more time in the Reggies to get fit. I rate Michael Milo as a player, and good to see him back.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. There's still I can't quite put my finger on it, but that could be a reason he still might be struggling with his injury, or he could well be. Maybe Flano wants to give him some minutes in New South Wales Cup, or
Get some run in the leagues.
Yeah, but he has been named 18th man, so we'll have to wait and see later in the week to see whether he remains 18th man and can't play New South Wales Cup, or he goes to the World Cup and gets more minutes in him, because he'll need game time for the games to come. Hasman, Tom Eisenhuth's been named at lock, despite Raymond Patel-Mariner starting there against Manly. Do you think Flano will pull that late switch again, or go with the 10 that he's named today? What did you thoughts on the RFM and Eisenhuth switch up last week?
I think he might switch it up. I mean, Eisenhuth and De Bellin were absolute guns when they came on off the bench last week. So, I think you might pull the switcheroo again just to sort of unsettle whatever plans Newcastle had cooked up. And I think we'll see Eisenhuth drop back to the bench and Fatala Mariner starting at lock. I think De Bellin will probably stay where he is. I can't see Laurie or Michael Milo coming into the starting 13. Jaime Sele is an interesting one, though. I get the feeling we may potentially see him come into the 17, possibly at the expense of Michael Molo. It's an interesting side. I'm glad to see him sort of mix it up a little bit. Just sort of keep all the, especially the forwards, keep them all on their toes. Once you start taking it for granted, that's when you start to sort of slip. So I think he's just trying to say to the forwards, your spot's not absolutely guaranteed. You're going to have to work for it, and I think that's going to pay dividends if that's the way he's going.
Yeah, no, I think so. I tend to agree with you there. Flano is that sort of a coach where he's not going to take any crap, and if you're not pulling your weight in and putting in the 100% effort, your spot will be up for grabs no matter who you are.
I've really been impressed with Eisenhuth this year, though. I don't know whether anybody else has noticed the way he's been playing, but he's been playing out of his skin.
He's come from a winning culture, so that's what he's brought.
He's been a good pickup. Yeah.
So he's come from Melbourne. They're a winning culture down there, so I think that's what he's brought.
Yeah,
and he's been in a premiership winning side as well. Yeah,
exactly right.
And he would have learned a lot under Craig Bellamy.
I think Luch and Eisenhuth, especially just of late, are really good for us, to be honest with you.
Jaden Sewer as well.
Well, obviously one of our existing players, but I just think those two boys coming in, probably we're sort of missing how good they really are as an impact for us.
Talking about Sewer, Jess. Talking about Sewer, I've got a bone to pick with Donny. Do you want to put that graphic
is Donny
there?
Watching?
If Donny's watching, I'm telling you, you asked me a question on Sunday night. I think you were a bit tongue-in-cheek asking me why Jaden Sewer. Me and Rob both had Jaden Sewer as man of the match.
Yeah,
he's in the Mole team. Look, he's in the Moles team. Round 4, team of the week, the Mole, Jaden Sewer. There you go. I've been
depends on which team of the week you look at, though, because I saw Jack Bird in one too.
And so did I. I had him for 1 point.
Jack Bird was on the SCN one, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Bird played really well last week too.
Ben Hunt for 2 points, and he was a Dally M winner. Like he got the 6 points in the Dally M. So I think I'm a pretty good judge.
Tony's just joined in and said he's something that makes me think he's not exactly a fan of the mole. Not really a fan of him, Donny.
No. Who's Donny? It's the Mad Dragon, mate. It's not Donny. Shh.
No, he's the Mad Dragon. That's not funny, yeah.
That's the podcast
See-
talking.
Tristan Saylor had a blinder for the Broncos last week too.
did.
I'd happily take him
I
back.
did. Yeah.
No, he'd be good, but it looks
At
like he's
5'8".
tied up at Brisbane, and even
Yeah.
when Reece Walsh comes back, there is talk that he may keep his spot in the 17. So
Yeah, I heard that too, yeah.
Someone just wrote on here, isn't the mole the Dragons Peter Dowse? Oh, geez, well, that's fair enough, isn't it?
well, in the SCN Player of the Year, they had Tyrell Sloan and Ben Hunt in the top 10. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's carry on about this week. Let's go.
anyway, we'll move on to our next bit. So Big T. So on the extended bench, we have Hame Sele, Christian Tuapolotu, William Fifita. I think it's the first time we see Toby Couchman this year, and also Ben Murdoch-Masila.
Mm-hmm.
Do you expect any late changes or inclusions into the team, especially
Simple
with
answer.
Christian Tuapolotu scoring 4 tries in New South Wales Cup?
No. Why would he change a winning combination? He has changed a little bit by bringing Mickey Marlowe up, but I think Mickey Marlowe's a good player. I rate Mickey Marlowe, so I can't see any changes.
No,
I
fair
reckon
enough.
Toby Couchman's going to get a run soon. I don't know when it'll happen, but it'll be soon. One of these weeks he'll get slotted in.
Yeah, I hope he gets some minutes there and he gain some experience. And yeah, as you can see, he's trying a few forwards there, here and there, and probably most of our forward packs had a run at some stage already this year. And I think Toby and Ryan when he comes back, he may get a start as well. Ryan's out with concussion, and Connor Mollison is out with a quad injury. That's why he didn't see any New South Wales Cup game time against Blacktown last Saturday. We'll move into this segment first. Okay, so my question tonight is regarding when our 2012 season opener against the Newcastle Knights. I do hope this doesn't clash with Big T's walk down memory lane a little later, but I'll throw it out there anyway. So we played the Knights in the 2012 season opener up at McDonald Jones Stadium. Back then it was called Hunter Stadium. The game we won 15 points to 14. Jamie Soward kicking a field goal in Golden Point. So the question is, so far away in the comments if you know the answer, who scored the final try for the Dragons in the season opener against the Knights in 2012? Who scored the final try for the Dragons in that game?
Josh Morris? Brett Morris?
No, none of them. Nope. See if you can get it far away in the comments, guys.
No, it wasn't.
And
Josh
there'll be a
Morris.
prize heading the winner's way.
Yes.
And while we're waiting on that, I'll show a little bit of what happened that night. It was a pretty tense game. Our first game post Wayne Bennett era was a bit of a rivalry. The Master versus the Apprentice. Wayne Bennett up against Steve Price in his first game as coaching the Dragons and NRL. So here's a bit of... We'll relive that game a little bit here. Hang on.
Here we go.
He bumps away from one, gets it to Tahu. Dropped by
Brilliant defence.
play by Tahu. Ken, 14 has Hilda. Hilda's 10 metres out. Put down 9 metres away.
With that Tahu and Nightingale trading punches as Kurt Giddon goes towards where that's happening. He's lost the football. And the touch of
Thanks, McKinnon.
Yeah.
Came to the left sensing an opportunity, but his teammates were involved in a fight. There was no one to run onto the ball. Tahu and Nightingale. Let's have a look at what's happening in the play the ball here. Tahu had him by the leg. Stands over him.
Send him off.
Nightingale reacts to come in and protect his mate. And she's on. It was Pryor. Pryor, who was kneed by Tahu, I believe. There's a hand on the face. Holds onto the leg. Plays the ball. And will come looking for him. Stands over his man and a little nudge with the knee.
There's been a hand on the face for 100 years in this game.
Boys,
Putting your knee out in any shape or form is unacceptable.
Over there. Take it back. Take it back. I'll go. Spring back. Yeah. There'll be a penalty against you guys. Thanks, mate. I'm off. Off you go. No need for it. No need for it. After the ball. Nothing in it. No more. The Tahu goes on report. And the Dragons, after a brilliant passage of
Should have
defence
been.
and some light touches by Newcastle.
Okay, and that's correct. So well done. What's this bloke's name? Big T? You've pronounced his name before. So our winner is
Pedro Presidio Valencia, you know.
well done. So send us your details. Send me a direct message and we'll organise how to get that prize out to you. So yeah, the winner was Matt Cooper. Matt Cooper scored the match-winning try against the Knights back in 2012, and we'll discuss a little bit more about the Friday's game against Newcastle a little bit later.
Matt Cooper loves Peter Dowse, doesn't he? Absolutely loves the man.
Yep.
The only one.
Yep, and he can't wait to join the coaching staff next year.
Yeah.
As long as Peter Dowse
How's that going to work if, like, Peter Dowse is on the board and he gets the gig? How's he going to, with everything he's been saying, how's he going to look at him straight in the face when he's your boss?
I don't think he will. I don't think he'll take the job if he's still on the board.
Well, he wanted to come on board this year, and apparently,
last year.
No, was it this year? Flanagan
And
couldn't find
last
him.
This year, yeah, and last year too.
Yeah, and couldn't find him a spot because somebody's still employed.
Yeah.
Well, when Flano was at the Sharks, before the 2016 Grand Final, he got ET to come in and work with the back line.
Yeah.
And, the defence, it worked wonders. Here's your Eddinghausen. So you think of Matt Cooper in the same ilk, it makes sense to get, why not get a player?
I totally agree with you. I reckon it'd be great.
Great.
He-
How much could you help out Tyrell Slane as well too?
Yeah.
So it's just stupid not to. And we got some big buggers in our back line, so they need as much time to defend, as on their hands as they can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move into the elephant in the room, which was released today, and I'll start off
This
with
ought to be good.
So just bear with me for a sec, and we'll get this up. And we'll go.
Max will leave the Dragons at the end of the NRL season. To give us the latest on this, we cross to reporter Jack Marnie at Wynn Stadium. And Jack, after weeks of speculation, finally some light on Lomax's future.
Good evening, Jared. The Dragons this evening confirming one of the worst kept secrets in the NRL, that Zach Lomax will leave the club at the end of the year. The 24-year-old still has 2 years left on his lucrative deal, but an agreement between his management and the Dragons will mean that the club does not have to front up for the final 2 years on his contract, and it allows him to immediately begin negotiations with rival clubs. There is the possibility of an early release should a club offer up a worthwhile replacement. In a statement released this afternoon, Dragons CEO Ryan Webb stressed the decision was in the best interests of both parties, while coach Shane Flanagan added Lomax has consistently demonstrated his talent and dedication to the club, especially in the face of external noise, and he has full confidence that Lomax can maintain his high level of performance for the remainder of the season. Lomax made his debut for the club in 2018 and went on to play for the Red V 97 times, scoring over 670 points. Now, Jared, this news will upset some Dragons fans, but it won't come as much of a shock, as there's been rumblings he's been unhappy at the club over the past 2 years. Last year, he was dropped to New South Wales Cup, and then this year, he'd been shoved from centre to the wing. This news drops just hours after we spoke to some of his teammates, and they were expressing their delight at how things were developing under Shane Flanagan. Despite the Lomax news, things under Shane Flanagan are starting to click. A strong win against a highly fancied Manly side, helping the players start to believe.
The main focus for us during the week was belief and having a bit of trust, within the playing group, within the coach and within our system that's put in place for us.
After the win, Flanagan mentioned his next job was getting the players to realise their talent, and he appears to be getting through.
We were talking about trust this week, and we trust in the team that we have that we could get the job done. And we showed that on the weekend. We showed everyone that we are a true contender this year.
The Dragons head north to play Newcastle this weekend, with Shane Flanagan giving his forward pack a reshuffle. Jack de Belin moves into the front row with Blake Laurie making way. Michael Molo joins the bench as Jaime Sele returns to the reserves list, and Tom Eisenhuth starts at 13 with Raymond Fatala-Mariner moved to the interchange. They'll kick off against the Knights at 8 p.m. on Friday. Jack Marnie, Win News.
Okay, and so we'll get everyone's thoughts on that now. So the elephant in the room, Zach Lomax, he's been allowed to be released at the end of this year, and the Dragons will not be paying any part of the next 2 years, the remainder of his contract. He'll be released at the end of the year, and he'll be allowed to talk to rival clubs from tomorrow and to line up a club for 2025. I'll start with you, Big T. So, Big T, give us your spiel on how you feel about Zach Lomax departing the club.
Was that to me?
Yep.
It's not a good situation. It's all over because he wants to play centre and he doesn't want to play in the wing. That's for sure. It doesn't sit well with me. It's like the Ben Hunt one last year. We can get rid of him now. Get rid of him.
Yep. Hasman, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, I just got to wonder how pissed off Ben Hunt's got to be with this. he was writing a letter to everyone but fucking Santa Claus trying to get released, and then Lomax gets his with barely a whimper. I mean, how's Hunt got to be bloody feeling about this?
I feel like there's a difference though. Like trying to replace a Ben Hunt, almost impossible. But there's plenty of centres out there, and we've probably done it because we've already got someone else in mind.
Well,
that's probably the only difference.
Well, I'd love to know who that is, because Flano wants to bring in a big bopper to shore up the middle. Sofa Solomona's name's been mentioned a few times, not by Flano, of course. But I mean, who say he goes now? Who comes in? Who takes his wing spot?
Well, they already said that he can't leave before the end of the year.
Unless we get a very good trade.
Yeah.
And who's out there that we're going to take? Yes, we'll take him immediately.
Well, who's out there that would actually want to come?
Yeah. or as good a player as Lomax is. But I mean, even though Lomax wants out, he's probably been arguably our best player all season.
Yeah, but he's basically chucking a bitch fit because he's playing 5 meters to the left of where he wants to.
I agree with you, Hasman.
I mean,
And the thing is, he's also in Origin form. So why does he want to go now?
Look, I'm sorry. That is just. This is absolutely soft as shit. Soft as shit. He's playing 5 meters in from where he wants to play, 5 meters to the left where he wants to play, and he's throwing a bloody hissy fit about it. It's like, well, at the end of the day, the team is what's important. Not your own ego. So, leave that in the bloody dressing room and just sort of get on with it.
I heard he just signed a contract with Kleenex to wipe those tears away. Wah, wah, wah.
I've heard he's a bit precious.
I think he signed with Huggies, didn't he?
Huggies, maybe Huggies as well, yeah.
I think, guys, if you read between the lines, Flano said if he's going to get a swap deal, he wants a real top swap deal. You know what I mean? I
reckon he's already got someone in mind. That's why they've agreed to this now. Because it was brought up in pre-season, and they said, let's wait till after round 4. And now, all of a sudden, they go, yep, no worries.
I reckon the big prop in Melbourne, people are talking about.
Nelson
or Sofa Solomona.
I mean, if Dragons really need someone right at the moment, it's a big bopper that can run 10, 15 metres, that can offload. Scary bastard, 120 kilos.
Same age as Lomax too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I saw Blake Laurie the other night on the Manny John show, and no offence to Blake, but I mean, bloody Zach Lomax.
Was that in widescreen?
So Blake Laurie's got the heart of the line, but he's not this 120 kilo big bopper, and most clubs have got him. Payne Haas, Vanilla Blake. Look at the Cronulla Sharks. They've got those Long Bay jail props. Big bar. So
that's what we're missing. Yeah,
we're really missing that big bopper. I mean, you remember years ago, you used to have Georgie Rose, unfit, but he'd run it up 10, 15 meters. You couldn't stop him. He'd just run 10, 15 meters.
I agree with you.
George Rose to Blake Laurie.
I mean a big bastard.
I want what you're smoking, Rob.
No, I'm saying a big bastard, that's all. I'm just saying a guy that can run 10, 15 metres all the time like that.
Yeah, Blake Laurie
couldn't run.
I'd
come on for a 10-minute stint and then he'd go off.
I can go back a
he
long
was loved by Dragons fans, and there.
Pat Jarvis, big guys. You know what I mean? We used to have big guys. Scott Gourlay in the second row. Remember? Really, really, really big buggers, big bodies. We missed that.
I've met him in person. He is a giant.
Yeah, big.
He is a big man.
Who's that?
I think we've got a special guest.
Scotty Gourlay.
We've got a special guest coming on.
Ian Johnson, have to call him Lomax now. That's quality.
This has come from Darren Etchells. Reportedly, Para offering Lomax a 4-year deal, $2.8 million, so $700 a year. So he's on 800, reportedly $800 a year with us.
That shouldn't matter though, should it?
So he wants to drop $100K a year just so he can play centre. What a soft.
And then a report's just come through in tonight too. With him leaving, it gives the Dragons $3 million to spend in the cap.
Yeah.
Wow.
So are we better off with that money to sign a top-notch player if we can get one?
But Zach Lomax is an 8-point game player. We've got to find someone to replace that.
And he's our kicker too. So who kicks?
Well, Kyle Flanagan can kick.
Kyle Flanagan will kick.
Yeah, Donnie was pointing out the other day. He's pretty close in percentages to Lomax. Flanagan.
Yeah. So that means Flanagan's got to be an 80-minute player. He's not coming off the bench anymore, is he?
No,
this year won't
stay at 6.
This year won't be.
I think the only way Flanagan won't be playing 5'8" is unless we buy an absolute top-notch 5'8" in the next couple of years.
Well, the
Yeah,
Tigers
well,
are flush with halves.
I like Marshke though.
Have a look at one of them.
Yeah.
What's the rumor with Schuster? Are we still looking at him?
No, that was April Fool's.
Like, I hope not.
Oh, Schuster. God, he loves KFC and Mac, is that boy?
April Fool's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, what we've mentioned the Ben Hunt thing. What do you think this means for Ben Hunt if he couldn't get a release and then Zach Lomax can get a release? What does this mean for the team as well? Like Ben Hunt will be looking and shaking his head, or
I think Ben Hunt's put that behind him.
money and he wouldn't let Hunt go, but he lets Lomax go. It doesn't look like he tried to fight to keep Lomax either. Like he could have said, "Oh, at some stage you'll get a run at centre." Blah blah blah. Jack Bird may not be here long term. This is what we want to do for now, but you're long term. You're our centre.
I really personally think Jesse with Ben Hunt. I am absolutely positive Flanagan has a deal going with him. See out this season with us. I'm going to try and obviously improve us. Possibly make the top 8. Try and prove to Hunt, that you're playing with a team that can make the top 8. But I really reckon Hunt deep down wants to go back to Queensland. I think he wants to move his family back there and all that sort of stuff. He's 34, turning 35 next year. I think for Hunt, he has another year or two, whatever, your brother retire in Queensland. I think that's what he really wants to do deep down. And I agree with Hasman. If I was Hunt, I'd be mildly pissed off because, he's got to release Lomax, you know what I mean? And Lomax obviously has got to be one of your better players, and it's pretty much click the fingers and you're allowed out. Whereas Hunt, wanted out twice and got knocked back twice. I understand there was no other halfback maybe available and all that sort of stuff, but I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, if Hunt was on $1 million back then, surely to goodness, if they really had to release Hunt, we could have found somebody for the equivalent type of money and attracted them. But I see Hunt wanting to go next year. If we're not making top 8 this year, I don't think Hunt will want to be with us next year, to be honest with you.
And it'll free up more cash for us next year, wouldn't it?
Sorry, mate?
It'll free up more cash for us next year to buy someone.
Oh, 100%. What's Hunt on now? 900 now?
Reportedly, yeah.
Well,
and then the Lomax going too.
I heard the thing about Hunt was, now I could be wrong, but I heard that he made the bigger part of his contract in the beginning of his, and now he's sort of tiered backwards. Mm-hmm. He's making a smaller money now, which is probably why he wanted to leave.
The Queensland teams, I just think about every Queensland team probably will take Hunt. Yeah, he might be the best player of the Broncos, bench, but look at the Titans, mate.
Titans. They're
probably have him back as well with the Dolphins. So I
think Katoa's their long-term 7 there. He's locked in, Katoa.
What's that noise in the background? Who's doing the dishes?
Not me.
Someone's doing the dishes.
Is Donnie still drinking those beers from Sunday?
Well, we've got Don. If Donnie can hear us, what are your thoughts on this situation, Donnie? What do you think of Lomax's departure at the end of the year? Are you there, Donnie?
Yeah, I think the noise Big T can hear is probably my beer bottles rolling around the floor in the car.
I knew it.
So Rob wants
direct from satellite. Direct from satellite, Donnie.
That's it. Still in the car on the way home from work and listening to you blokes. And like I think when it comes to Zach Lomax, I've got a pretty different opinion to most. That Zach's my favourite player in the team. So I think this is a dreadful decision. For me, I think this is going to be something that Dragons fans will look back on in the same way that Tigers fans currently look back on the loss of James Tedesco to the Roosters. I think we're going to look back on this in 10 years' time the same way the Tigers fans look back at that and wonder, why didn't we do more to try and keep him? He's a 24-year-old that is like, he's been this the chosen one, the guy that's going to be an absolute superstar, and it hasn't clicked. And finally, in the last sort of like the back end of last season, the start of this season, finally everything has clicked, and now we're letting him go without so much as a whimper. I think we're going to live to regret this hugely. This is going to be something that will haunt us, and we will be teased mercilessly by opposition fans for the next decade for allowing this to happen. Now, I know a lot of fans are quite pissed off at Zach Lomax, and I've heard a few of you guys sort of talking about how he wants to be 5 centimetres infield from where he currently is. Well, 5 centimetres infield for him right now. The difference, like, what's the maximum you're going to pay a winger? Everyone says you can't pay $800,000 for a winger. Okay, well, the maximum you can pay a winger might be $500,000. The maximum you pay a centre is $800,000. So over the next 10 years, we're talking about $3 million he's giving up by standing 5 centimetres further wide. Like, it's a massive deal. It's a huge deal for Zach Lomax to be slightly wider out on the wing. Now, why we don't value wingers, I'm not sure. I think the winger is probably just as important, if not more important, than a centre. But ask anyone how much a winger can earn, and it's much less than what they think a centre can earn. So I think I think there's a number of factors that come into this, and
if that winger's scoring 14, 16 points a game, he's going to be worth more than a centre.
Even still, you wouldn't. No.
Well, hey, Donnie, if you can hear me, I wrote to Jesse. Jesse asked me the question about Zach, and I come from a different point of view. I agree with you. I looked at Zach Lomax as a one-club player. I thought he could be possibly as good as Mark Coyne Monday and maybe captain our team Monday. That's how I looked at Zach as a player for us. I thought he just had that ability to be like another Mark Coyne one day, you know what I mean? So it's very disappointing. For me, I'm devastated by it, to be honest with you. I don't know if Donnie's still there.
He's gone.
Well, there's a car.
Sorry about that. The missus was on the side of the road selling lemonade, so I just stopped to say that.
No, so I don't know if you heard what I said, Donnie.
I heard the start of what you were saying, and then jumped out of the car. So.
No, I was just saying how. Oh, thanks, mate. I was just saying how devastated I was because I saw Zach as a Mark Coyne type ilk play for us, a one club player that might captain for us, down the line. And I think he could have been a player like Mark Coyne for us, if you know what I mean.
Mate, I've spoken to Zach Lomax and his family online a couple of times, and he's always said he desperately wants to be a one club player. He loves the Red V. He doesn't want to play for any other club. He wants to be a Dragon for life. Like that was the messaging I got from talking to the Lomax family, and the only thing that's changed since then is Shane Flanagan became coach. So people say that he's having a tantrum because he's been put on the wing. I think there's more to it. I think he genuinely does not like the coach. There's some sort of issue
there's something
there
doing there.
that is
100%.
deeper than just moving from centre to wing. I think there's more to it. But I don't know whether we'll ever know the full story.
Yeah, it doesn't add up, does it? It seems to me like there's definitely something more to this as well. And they've released him pretty easily as well. It doesn't seem like they put up much of a fight.
Well, when used down in Wollongong today, Donnie said they said Lomax is still bitter about when Hook dumped into New South Wales Cup last year. Do you think that has anything to do with it as well? I mean, that was 12 months ago.
Yeah, it was a different coach too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see how that has a great deal to do with it. Obviously, that wasn't handled very well, and the communication from Hook was terrible. That whole situation was a bit bit shithouse, and I don't think anybody really understood what was going on, least of all the bloke that had been dropped to reserve grade. And I think that was terribly handled, but I don't know that that's got a great deal to do with what's going on now. It's, as Daz said, it's a completely different coach. It's different circumstances, but yeah, for whatever reason, I think there's an issue between Lomax and the coach. That's the only thing I can think of that has changed his attitude so dramatically in the course of sort of 6 months or so. That the only thing that's changed is the coach, because he was going quite well.
He's playing out of his skin, Donny. He's in line for Origin and still wants out. So what's going on?
He was going quite well the back end of last year under Ryan Carr. I don't know what happened at the back end of last year, but all of a sudden it seemed to click for him in terms of how good he is and how good he can be if he gets himself involved in the game. And he just
can I throw something out to you? Can I throw something out to you? No, Jesse, seriously, without laughing, I'm dead set serious by this. I reckon Flano's promised him stuff that hasn't happened. Because I mean, if you remember about the fullback situation, that there was going to be a bit of a swap between him and Tyrell as well too. Yeah, to have some time at fullback.
Hasn't happened, no.
So and then you see Jack Bird, and I know Darren, he played well in the last match, mate. But I mean, to be fair, if you go apple for apple, all of a sudden Jack Bird's playing centre, and obviously Lomax is best for the team that he plays on the wing. But is it really best for the team that he plays on the wing? You know,
well,
and then
you saw Lomax having a spray at Bird the other in a previous game as well. So,
you saw the Matty Johns show with Fletcher and Heine, and they absolutely gave it to Lomax. You know, and Bird was just there. You've taken Zach's position, all this sort of stuff. So, I mean, the guy's been a bit carved up as well.
I mean,
you know,
I don't think anyone really knows what's going on.
Flano that Flano's just bullshitting him. As simple as that, and let him on.
It seems like it's a bit more than that. Even I reckon there's a personality clash that don't get on.
Well,
Flanagan's probably.
He's got his ideas and he hasn't bought into them.
John Carras just put up a message there. Flano gave him a spray and Lomax said goodbye. See?
Could very well be.
Lomax didn't like it. Lomax didn't like it. He's gone, I'm going. See you later.
Yeah.
But John Carras he's just made up a good point as well. Nobody is bigger than the Red V. We are a proud club with a lot of history, proud history. And not one player is bigger than our proud club. And
well, then if no player is bigger than the club, if Gordon Tallis sat out a year, Chock Mundine, basically the club, told him you're no bigger. See you later, alligator. Then how the hell is Ben Hunt still the captain of the team if he wanted twice out as the captain of the team last season? I agree with Darren that there was no other option than let Hunt go. He was the best halfback we had, etc. An Australian rep, played for Queensland, etc. But how the hell could you still be captain after you wanted twice out of the club and you talk publicly, and they still let him be captain? And everybody's going, Tata Lomax, see you're an asshole and all that. Well, do you remember what Ben Hunt did? And he's still allowed to be captain.
True. But Ben Hunt hasn't let us down either. He's also.
I'm not saying he let us down.
Ben Hunt's trying. Ben Hunt's trying.
He's not making him accountable for anything that he said or did at all. They could have taken the captaincy away from him, but they didn't.
But Ben Hunt's 3 points behind the leader in the Dally M too, so he's showing us that he wants to play with the Dragons.
He's still one of the best centers in the game. You've got to give him that.
Doesn't he? He always polls well. But I mean, he's always been one of our best players, and I'm not disputing that. I just think that the club, like what Donny's saying, they're getting rid of a player. Potentially could be one of our best players of all time. But
clubs do that.
Yeah,
clubs do that.
Shane Flanagan
Lomax came through
around.
as a young boy. He came through our junior rep system. He's played all through the grades. Brad Fittler's even called him the gifted one coming through the reps, and he even had him in his Origin squad a few years back. And as Daz said, he on form at the moment, he'd be on one wing for New South Wales.
Yep. But having said that, I still believe in Shane Flanagan. Look, he's turned the Sharks around.
Took him 6
I
years.
just think we just have to believe in the process and what he wants to do.
Took him 6 years and a few substances, but yeah.
Well, look, maybe he's robbing from Peter to give to Paul. Like, he might be
Yeah.
releasing that money to put in somewhere else.
Yeah,
Or
but
either
Lomax-
forwards building up.
Lomax goes, we've got $3 million to spend.
Well, I mean, Darren, you're probably right. I mean, there was no bigger fan of, and I still am, of Flano. I mean, I was in the Illawarra Mercury. They wrote a story as a supporter. I supported Flano. I was behind Flano and all that sort of stuff. But I see it as there's going to be more pain. There's no doubt that they have to clean out some players, and there's some players getting on, and it's going to happen. So probably the same thing is going to happen next year. We're going to be seeing some players maybe we think that should still be playing that they're maybe going to be pushed out.
But how happy would you be if next year comes and all of a sudden we've got a really competitive team because he spent that $3 million elsewhere?
Oh, definitely.
Like, you've got to believe in the process.
Yeah, I'd love to see some top-notch players coming in, you know what I mean? Even if it's just one, and hopefully a couple can follow as well. I mean, you all know I love Tom Dearden. I would have loved Tom Dearden to play with Ben Hunt for a couple of seasons.
Awesome.
Hunt retires, goes out, whatever he does, and Dearden takes over. And I know everybody goes, Dearden never wanted to come and blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should have given Dearden the sort of money we gave Ben Hunt at the start when Ben Hunt gave to the Broncos, and maybe a bit more to entice him. But that's what I see we need to do. We're going to need some big moves like that in the future. And maybe Flano's got one right now. Maybe Big Nelson might be coming to us. Who knows? Did someone say Nelson is available? Is that true?
I've heard he's out of favour at the Storm for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Which you got to wonder why he's out of favour.
He's still letting
so that might be question mark.
He's still overcoming injury though, I've heard.
Yeah, but there's a message there before he's told he was too fat and he came back bigger than when he left over Christmas.
Not really.
Remember what happened at Christmas time with knee injuries and that, signing players that didn't work out. So I reckon we should give him a medical first.
He's in fat camp.
Well, Hasman, you mentioned earlier today that you don't want Lomax in any part of the team for the rest of the year. I mean, you like to plan for the future and give one of our 3 youngsters a run.
Well, I mean,
Flano's
basically said that his focus is for 2025 anyway. So that being the case, let's start fast tracking that now. Get a Tuipulotu or Finau, whoever you're going to bring in.
And stick with
But they've still got to get members to come through the gate and watch the football. So you can't just drop your load and prepare for next year. You still want to win football games. So whether he prepares for next year with players in reserve, right?
What did they do with Tallis? They sat Tallis out for a season. He sat out, didn't he? He sat out.
That was his choice. That was his choice to do
I
that.
know that was his choice.
He was
as if the club didn't sort of also force the issue as well.
Yeah.
So maybe Hasman's right. I mean, you either want to play for the Dragons or you don't.
Well, he obviously doesn't want to play for us anymore. Otherwise we wouldn't be bloody talking about him now. So, and I admit it does sound a little bit stupid to, have 700, 800,000, whatever the hell he's on, sitting in bloody reserve grade.
But this might not be over yet either. They could be still looking for a player that maybe wants to come now, and if they get that, well, they say, okay, you can go.
But it might be a forward, mate. It might be a centre or a winger. But I mean, he got that Manly. What's his name, Jesse? Christian Tuipulotu.
He scored 4 tries in New South Wales Cup on the weekend.
Flano selected him. He got him.
Who's the Penrith winger we're looking at as well?
Taruva.
Sunia Taruva. He scored 3 tries last week against the Roosters.
Is he available?
Well, he's already said he wants to stay at Penrith and he'll stay there for less.
Oh, well, there you go.
Put a line through that.
We offered him $100,000 more than Penrith, but they've signed some long-term wingers as well, so I don't know where that sits, but
he might be just saying that money talks. He gets the right contract and an offer to play first grade. Lomax goes.
Gets what he wants.
Well, that's a big carrot.
Yeah, money talks and crybabies walk.
You don't think? Hey, Hasman, you don't think that Flano might drop him out of the team this weekend?
No, because I don't.
No,
I don't.
he's been named already. I can't see him doing it.
Yeah.
He's still been one of our form players this year.
if he's such a top talker, Flano, you know what I mean.
But there's been no talk that Lomax isn't prepared to put in.
Look, even with all this bullshit
No, it's
going
not.
on,
That's right.
He's still playing well, Rob. He's still playing well.
I'm not saying he's not playing well, mate. I'm just saying, like what has been said, he quite clearly, like Ben Hunt last year, right, that does not want to play for our team anymore. I mean, Hunt was out the door. If they granted him immediate release, he was gone. The Broncos wanted him, didn't they? Or Kevy or whatever. So
it was Titans, wasn't it? Wasn't it
Titans? So I mean, mate, Hasman could be right. You know, at the end of the day. But like what I said before, Flano said he wants a top player as a swap. So who's a top player?
He's not going to let Lomax go until he gets that.
No.
Yeah,
so
and who's going to want to come at the moment?
So what happens if we can't get a decent swap for him for next year? Is he still gone?
He's already gone for next year. He's only
No, he's only on a partner week now. They'll go all in to try and release him this year so they get a player. Because, like, if he goes to Parramatta, well, we get nothing in return other than the money, right? So they will be trying to find a player for this year so they at least get something for him.
Yeah, because Darren...
we get fuck all from Parramatta if he signs with them tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? Parramatta haven't got anything that we'd want.
But what I'm worried about, Darren, is what you said before, that maybe behind closed doors he's a problem maker. He might be. I mean, I like the guy, right? I really do. I want him to stay. I'm like Donny.
Yeah.
But could he cause problems for us now that he's not? That he wants out that bad, and that they've said, right, you can leave.
Yeah.
Immediate release if there's a swap, but next year you're gone.
To me, they just released him pretty easy.
He can
didn't
play
seem
well,
like there was much
right?
fight.
But
So maybe
it
they're
might affect the other
okay with him
players.
going.
Well, do you think
We've got a Matt Hasler in the group chat. He said, whoever gets Lomax can have Laurie for free, like a package deal. Do you know that man, Hasman?
Nah, stop it. I like Blake. I like Lomax as well, but
look,
he's got issues.
He would have been a fantastic front rower back in the 80s. The problem is we're not in the 80s anymore. The game has changed, and the days of the fat front rower are well and truly gone.
What? You can't have Stan Jared in your team.
The big front rowers are paying half.
Having said that, though, like, I'm not going to lay the boot into Lomax. I wouldn't go out and boo him at the next home game or whatever, just because he wants to leave for next year.
They didn't do it to Ben Hunt at the end of the day. Yeah. So I hope they don't do it. What's the story with Fafita then? He's got a get-out clause, hasn't he, now that he can activate?
Round 10.
Round 10.
Whether he does or not, that's another story.
He loves the Goldie, though. That's the word going around. Yeah, I don't really see him leaving Queensland.
Everyone loves the Goldie, don't they? You've been out the Goldie.
Can't you just ring up the Titans and do a deal for us, a London deal, and get Tino down?
Is there?
We don't want Tino. He's out. See,
we don't want Tino. He's injured. We don't want an injured player.
I meant for next year. Next year, not this year.
I'd take Isaac before I took Tino.
He's signed a 10-year deal. He can stay up there.
That's right.
He can stay with Desi and
he's not breaking a 10-year deal, but he can't play for us. I don't give a shit how much money you throw at him.
No.
10-year deal. What happens if he's got busted legs next year or something?
Well, that's what's happening with Tamalolo.
Well, that's
3 years left on his 10-year deal.
How long has he got left?
His legs are busted.
They are. They're giving him limited time now.
I'll throw this out to you guys, all right? Obviously, Lomax is gone, all right, next year.
Yeah.
So, do we need an out-and-out speedster in our back line? I mean, it appears to me Tyrell Slane's by far the fastest in the back line. I know Lomax is no slouch, but the rest of the boys are big bastards, that,
Certainly, Ravalawa, they're big units, not very mobile.
Yeah, so do we need
I'd want some speed too. Yeah.
Do we need a winger, maybe one of those wingers that you see in other clubs, that we used to have them, didn't we? Jason Saab and etc. But a real fast, you know what I mean? Player out wide. Is that a possibility?
I reckon we definitely need to find one, even if he's, someone emerging through reserve grade or something like that. Even that'd be all right. Yeah, serious.
I'm getting a hard time. I think
like that
Big
message.
D, myself, and Darren are getting a hard time. It's not the 80s
No,
anymore.
no. That's right. Yeah, let's see the message at the bottom there. Someone hasn't
James,
seen my
our
CD
friend James
collection.
Jimmy Gray.
Jimmy Gray.
He's dropped the Jimmy, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just plain old James Gray now.
Just plain old James Gray.
Derek Cliff reckons Dragons definitely need a speedy strike centre. Strike centre all winger, yeah. And that's I think who should we be going for once Lomax is gone.
So who are
Taruva.
you moving on? You're moving on Surly or Bird? I'm assuming
Bird.
you're moving on Bird.
Surly signed a 4-year deal, so Surly won't be going anywhere.
Bird can play. Bird, to be fair with Bird, he can play in different positions. I mean, Bird would be an ideal 14 in a.
Yeah, but
the problem,
he's played best at centre.
See, the problem with Bird is, and we saw this, with the Dolphins game especially. He comes up against a fast centre who's got a step, and he's fucked.
Yeah,
well, this week he's up against Dan Gaga. He's up against Bradman Best this weekend.
Yeah, challenge cut out for him.
If Bradman Best is on, it's going to be it could be a bath.
Well, guys, that's the other thing too. I know you're going to get into the game, but apparently the amount of wet weather we got coming to Sydney and Illawarra and up, it's going to be a wet game. So
it's been pissing down here in Melbourne at the moment. So
we're meant to be getting something like 80 mils on Friday. So
that's what I mean, mate.
Newcastle, that could potentially negate the speed factor.
Yeah, I hope it rains for sure.
I hope it's bloody pissing down the entire fucking game.
Well, if it rains, it's going to knock Collins' game out a bit, isn't it? With the wet weather, it'll slow him down a bit.
It'll help our defence because Newcastle will rely a lot on Kalen Ponga.
Yeah,
and that's
and we can play. Then we can play the arm wrestle with him. So it brings us back into it.
Anyway, very shortly we'll have Dean Smith from the Nighttime Podcast joining us. Big T, he'll run us through that a little bit later. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that game. So, what are we expecting in this game? The Knights coming off that loss to the Warriors. There was a brave effort from the Knights. What do we see in this game? Are we a chance against the Knights this weekend?
I think we are. I think we're a big chance against the Knights this weekend. They've gone down. Well, they got flogged by the Raiders early on, and then they've lost a 2-point game. They lost a 1-point game, and then last week's game. So they haven't been too far out of it. But I don't think they're the same team that finished off 2023. I think they're slow starters. I'm not sure with the Knights, but I think we'll do them on Friday.
Got a good record against the Knights too.
Oh, it's a huge record.
Especially up in Newey.
I've got run through the stats a bit later on when Dean gets on. But
back in the days when we got the great Jamie,
they're pretty big, man. Yeah, they're pretty big these stats against the Knights we've got.
I think
we've turned it into their own graveyard.
I think it's there, but I think we've got the best record of any team against Newcastle in the whole competition.
Yeah.
But I reckon, Jesse, if we put pressure on their strike play, the best player, like a bit like Tommy Turbo, obviously didn't have a good game, but put pressure on
the man for Newcastle.
Under pressure. Under pressure.
The way we handled Tommy last week was the key to the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Took him right out of the game.
He didn't have time.
We've got to do the same to Kalen Ponga.
Yeah, don't let him have time. Don't let him run. Don't let him find space. All that sort of stuff.
Stick away from him.
Just need to frustrate him out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And he'll make mistakes because he'll be trying to make something happen, and it'll be too much pressure, especially if it's a wet game as well. It's going to make it harder.
Yep. I mean, hopefully the clean up the errors. I mean, we mentioned the amount of errors on Sunday's show that happened during the game. I mean, it wasn't a great game to watch against Manly on the weekend, but
the first half we were fairly good. We had 6 errors and 3 missed tackles, and that's pretty good. And the second half was diabolical.
All we had to do was hang on to the ball, and we would have gone on with that.
If we had been playing somebody else,
could have lost.
We could have lost, but
Muzzle was saying that if it was a Penrith,
Blake Laurie,
if it was even a Broncos.
Blake Laurie went to the whole 2023 without an error. And when we played Manly, he had 2 errors, so stuffed up his record.
Yep. And do you think Lomax? You think? Well, I read one of the reports too today. If Lomax is, if his form drops, he's going to earn the ire of fans for the remainder of the year and at games.
He's on a hiding or nothing now.
I can't see it happening. I can't see Lomax dropping the ball.
No.
I don't think he would.
He's playing for a state of origin wing spot.
Yep.
He's been told he's in line for one of them. He's in the contest for it anyway.
I mean, if he plays bad games, sure, yeah.
That's right. It'll show us what sort of a bloke he is too. Yep. If he's honourable, and we'll see out 2024.
He's still playing for a contract as well, right?
Somewhere else.
Trying to impress a new club.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, but look, quite honestly, if he signed somewhere else, I don't think he'd be that unprofessional. I reckon he would still try and play out of his skin for the rest of the year.
For sure.
No doubt.
But I reckon you're right, Darren. I reckon Flano's got someone already lined up. Because why would they say, well, we've got to have someone just as
well, it happened easy, didn't it?
Yeah. I reckon Flano's got someone lined up. So maybe watch this space the next month. We might have
what's the next 2-3 weeks? All of a sudden, something will come out. Oh, we've signed this guy.
Well, either that or they've learnt their lesson from the Hunt bullshit and just decided if he doesn't want to be here, let him go.
Yeah. Well, that's true too.
Yeah, and it's not going to end well if you're keeping a bloke here against that doesn't want to be there, and you're not going to get the best form out of him. I mean,
if he
maybe this year.
If Lomax doesn't want to be there, then how do you explain how he's reacted after the 2 wins, especially last week?
Yeah. He had a big smile on his face.
Doesn't make sense.
But in the other games, he looked pretty cranky as well. In the 2 games we lost.
Yeah.
He looked very, very cranky at that time. So it depends on
whether
he's
he's
winning
expect him to be happy, for Christ's sake.
No. But what I'm saying,
no one would be happy.
No, but
if you're happy losing, then you're playing the wrong game.
I think he went off a bird in one of those games as well. So
he has, man. I must be a good Dragons supporter, mate. I've still got that photo of taking a Ben Hunt at Cronulla mowing his lawn in a Titans jersey. So I've done nothing with it, mate. Got to go on the Daily Telegraph or wherever.
Well, there's still talk that he might be after that guy from the Wallabies and the Queensland Reds, Jordan Patea. He's still on the radar, but the talk on that's gone quiet. So, is that the guy he might have landed? Joey Manu.
No, I reckon Darren.
Do we throw the man at him now that we're looking for a strike centre?
It might be like a Nelson or something like that. You know what I mean?
Manu has said in the past that he'd rather not play for any other club than the Roosters, but
money talks.
I mean, with that money, would you offer him that?
Isn't he going to rugby union? Or have I got that wrong?
Rugby. No,
hasn't been confirmed
rugby
yet, though.
No, it's not. Hasn't been. No.
Well, I thought he said that he was going to go to rugby or he'd stay at the Roosters. That's what I thought.
That's what he said.
Yeah, but you obviously don't believe what you believe.
Yeah, so it hasn't been confirmed, but while nothing's happened, I mean, I'd try again if we can try and nab him with that sort of money we got. Whether or not we do get him, it's a different story. But
we're gonna for any big name outside back, we're just gonna have to pay overs to get him over. So that worries me a bit too. We need to start to win and have players that want to play for us for unders, like Penrith do. Like those sorts of clubs. Because you start paying overs, you turn into Canterbury. No offence, Canterbury fans.
No, every offence, Canterbury fans.
If there's any Canterbury fans on here, piss off.
Well, we got lots of them watching, Daz. We got lots of them.
Oh, good. Piss
Holland.
off.
Was Andrew Holland, is it?
David Holland.
David Holland.
Steve
Elliott, he's watching.
Steve Elliott. Oh, please.
Get out of here, you friggin' pretzel.
Well, he watches all the time.
Yes. Who's our sponsor again, Jess?
So, Complete Warehouse Solutions.
Canterbury Bankstown Leagues Club.
Gus reckons they got good Chinese there.
What, Complete Warehouse Solutions?
Yeah, so Complete Warehouse Solutions. So yeah, Jeff and his team are more than pleased to assist your Sydney warehouse refurbishment or fit-out project, defits, or any systems alterations needed in between as your business changes, moves, or expands. So the team at Complete Warehouse Solutions works very closely with all customers and strive in every case to properly understand their needs and preferences. So go see them at 6 Commerce Drive, Lake Illawarra, or give them a call on 42571930. Give them
Do
a
you
call.
guys do you like the fact in the comp at the moment, even though there's mixed results, how you looked at the Tigers and the Tigers were absolutely just gone, you know, and us to a lesser extent, but see how things have changed around with form, and obviously the coach behind it as well too, the attitude of the players as well. I mean, got to give Tigers a bit of credit there, that, you know, doing a bit like what we've done. They beat Manly, they beat Parramatta. Parramatta's home game, right? Where there's a will,
Was that
there's a way.
Cronulla they beat? Cronulla Tigers beat Cronulla, didn't they? Yeah.
Yes. Well, this was on NRL 360 tonight. They discussed Lomax swapping for Nelson, but Melbourne's reportedly they're stocked in outside backs, so they don't need any outside backs. But there's something going on down in Melbourne why he can't get a start. He's not even in their top 22 this week either. So
must be out of favour with Bellamy.
Yeah, be wary of that though.
because that's what happened with Justin Olam last year, and Bellamy let him go. Bellamy doesn't drop any player for a reason. He drops players for a reason.
Now he's killing it at the Tigers. Did you see that missed shoulder charge on the weekend from Olam?
He would have got weeks.
If he hadn't hit him, he would have took his head straight off.
Well, here's the reason. He's came back heavier after off-season.
I said that earlier. earlier.
Yeah, but we can fix that. Sign him up.
He looked like Laurie Dazza.
Needs to send him
I'd take Nelson any day of the week. He's
a
grub.
grub.
Send him to the Cronulla Sand Dunes.
Yeah,
he is a grub. Nelson.
Also,
you think twice. You always think twice about running at Nelson. So.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the players say he's a scary bastard, absolutely scary bastard on the field.
Yeah,
he intimidates you. He's running at you.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Anyway, we're still waiting on our special guest. I think he's just wrapping up his podcast. Hopefully, we do get him on very soon. But yeah.
If not, I'll ask you
from Night Time Podcast.
I'm going to have to leave all your lovely guys, but for the older members of the panel, do you remember the great Jamie Ainscough that we got from Newcastle St George back in the day?
What a pickup! What a pickup!
Some fond memories.
He
used to have a good record though against Newcastle.
We could have won that grand final.
He also played for West, didn't he? At one point,
he did. Yeah, very young at West. I think he was.
Didn't he cost us a grand final?
No, he didn't.
Oh, no. What was he going to do? That crossfield kick, he was going to score that unless he did that.
It was the game where Chalk went over and you should have just held onto the ball and you lost the ball. And...
Can I just point something out there? I was nobody ever talks about this, but I was sitting at that game right in front of where that happened, and nobody saw the whack over the back of the head that Chalk got.
No, did you really?
It should have been a penalty. I don't know why there was no penalty.
Yeah.
Clean him over the back of the head. No one's talking about it.
No, I don't like that.
The week before in '99, he got us through 3 tries, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Him and Blacklock against Cronulla. You know, and that first try, Blacklock scored. Remember, and he got the ball and he just off the kick and went through. I mean, geez,
I was already celebrating at half time. Went off early.
I know. Imagine if we had Blacklock and Chalk back in our team, the same players today as they were back then. Yeah. That'd be dynamic in the back line,
we should have smashed Melbourne. The momentum in that game, we should have smashed Melbourne that game. Even with the things that went pear-shaped, and I still reckon Chalk should have got a penalty for that. But, we should have belted them.
Yeah, there you go, Steve Alley says in the comments, we're currently with fragile.
Get out of here, you pretzel.
You bum. Get out of here, you
Yeah,
He,
get out of
he
here.
must be a Dragons fan deep down if he's watching our show.
He must be. That's right.
You
I think he
freaking
just-
fairy, get out of here.
I had a massive if you're listening, Steve Alley, and I invited you to Menai to come and face me, and I said to you, Hasman will be there in front of me to protect me. So, you know, I'm going to agree.
Come on and be
Steve-
the guest when we play the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
Steve
that's
Allen?
right.
Steve's actually one of the
How'd you-
admins in my group, in my sledging group.
How do you know he's a
No.
Oh,
Bulldog?
he's
there
a
you
good
go.
fella.
Is he a Bulldog, Daz?
Yeah, he's a Bulldog fan. So I don't know what he's
massive
doing in
Bulldog.
here. He's
Massive
got
Bulldog
mixed,
fan.
yeah.
Well, if you're-
Dragons fan, he's in denial.
We asked him to come on the show when we play the Bulldogs, Daz.
I don't know if he'd come on. He won't show his
well,
face.
come on. He won't show his face on TV.
He won't
Steve
show his
Alley.
face. A fake profile.
You got to get
Come
him
on,
on.
Steve
Poor
Alley,
old
come on.
Blaze. You get Blaze on.
He,
Poor old
he won't
Blaze.
show his face. It's because he looks like Bigfoot.
Anyway, we're
Yeah,
still
good.
waiting on.
Yeah, Dino.
Dino's having trouble getting on, but he's on another phone, so he will be. He's on a phone call at the moment, so he'll be
All right.
about 20 minutes. He's having some slight
Right.
delays, but
I hope we still got people watching.
well, we'll talk about where this game will be won or lost, and then
Who
we'll,
wants to
we'll,
watch this tribe?
and then we'll yeah, hopefully get Dean on by then. So the Knights, yeah, as we said, the Knights have only won one from 4 to start the year.
I hope he comes on
They've-
soon. I'm going to have to wrap it up soon.
Yeah, I've got to go in a sec too.
Yeah.
So what do we reckon? What's going to happen?
I'm
Well,
hoping
how do we
that the
take out
Knights are a bit
Newcastle this
slow
week?
to start like Dean. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a wet weather game, so it's going to be a lot closer and maybe not the ball thrown around maybe as much. And well, they're saying that there was a Broncos versus Cowboys game. They're throwing the ball around everywhere. It was torrential rain up in Suncorp, but I don't know. We're going to have to be better, Darren. Like you said, I think Big T the second half against Manly with all the drop ball and mistakes. So we can tighten that all up and win it in the forwards through the middle, and we keep Ponga. I think Hunt obviously can help us out to win the game without a doubt. But I think it'll be a close one. But I think we should get the chocolates. We're on an upward spiral, right?
I'd like to see us start fast. We start slowly like we usually do. I'm not confident, but if we can start fast, put some early points on them, put them under some pressure, that's the way I'd like to see the game won.
Yeah, like I said last week, we've got to win it in the forwards. I think we had 5 forwards last week run for over 100 metres. So the forwards can get, and we have to stop. I said we have to stop Brooks and Cherry Evans, but we also got into Turbo's face as well. And that's what we've got to do with Ponga.
Yeah.
Get in his face, limit his time with the ball, stop the ball getting to Bradman Best.
He's dangerous.
Very dangerous. And guy
Brazil.
That's right.
Like he'll be up against
And
Luciano
he can
Leilua,
beat 2 or 3 tackles easy. So
Yeah.
you got to man up on him. You're going to have to put 2 or 3 guys on him.
And if you can limit the ball that those outside and second rows limit the ball they get, like we didn't see much of Garrick or Kohler in the Manly game, did we? So they weren't getting the ball. They weren't getting the ball because we were stopping the halves and our forwards were going forward, and that's what our forwards have to do again.
Yep. Anyway, while we're waiting on Dean to come on, we'll move into some lower grades news. So
just before you do that, Jesse, does anyone know who the ref is this week?
Yeah, Sutton.
Oh shit.
Gerard type.
Shit.
It'll be a sellout.
Well,
too.
I'll give him a
Should be
tip
right.
now. Jesse, I'll give him a tip now. Newcastle by 40.
Yeah, lucky we're not playing
come
South.
on.
We're not winning the game that Jared Sutton's in charge of. I can tell you that now.
Yeah.
Bloody
I
hates
seen a message from the Bulldogs fan side saying Jared Sutton's.
it's
their
not.
worst
It's Belinda
ref.
Sharp.
Who was the
Oh.
Cowboy?
Belinda Sharp's the referee.
Oh, is she? Okay. I thought it was Sutton.
She done us against the Cowboys a couple of
She
weeks
doesn't
ago.
like us either.
Who's in the Who's up
Actually,
in the
don't
TV
know.
box?
The bunker, Adam G.
By
Oh, I
G,
see
by
Gerard
G, by
Sutton.
Crikey.
Former referee, yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason he's a former referee.
And Peter Goff is one of the touchies. Tasman, Peter Goff, remember him?
Oh, Christ.
He's all right.
Glad he's not in the centre of the park.
Get off.
We'll go. So you got to go,
I
Rob.
want
So
Casey Badger in the bunker.
I'll
That's
see you guys.
absolutely her best position.
give us your
See you,
prediction
Rob.
for the game this weekend. And do you think we can get one over the Knights?
Mate, I think it's going to be close if all this wet weather happens. And I think we'll win by a couple of points. I think it'll be a field goal, maybe it's a couple of points, maybe a try, maybe even two. I really think we can get the chocolates, keep the momentum going. But I think, as we discussed, we've got to do all those good things. It's going to be a sellout. I think there's close to it. So, but we do get a lot of supporters up there as well. But no, I'm excited, mate. So close. I'm hoping Rev gets a try for us. I really do. Just to inspire him, to motivate him, because some good things have been happening with other players around Rev. And then he scored 21 tries last season, the poor bugger. He hasn't gone over yet. So,
No.
And I think if that happens, they could start a bit of a roll on for him, and he might score a few more. So
He's not going to get to Manny because Sully doesn't fucking pass.
Yeah,
Well,
I think Surly's due. Watch out.
Yeah, and he's
He'll be up against Gagai.
I think he's Christian.
But in saying that, they're up against obviously we're up against Gagai and Best, so they're not small either. So, but look, I'll say good night to everybody. Up the Dragons.
They're up.
We've got Dean from Nighttime Podcast finally joining us. Welcome to the show, Dean.
Hey, guys, how are you? Having a bit of an issue with the link there.
That's all right. It's good. It's
all right.
Have you told Dean yet that Pong was out?
That was yesterday, Rob.
I'll leave you guys.
Yeah, mate. I don't know if you can hear me, but the connection's not real good, guys, eh?
Well, we got just loud and clear.
We can hear you.
Over.
All right. Now that we've got Dean on, I'll hand over to Big T for this.
Come with me as we go behind enemy lines.
I got you now, mate.
Well, good day, Dragons fans. I'm Big T, and this is Beyond Enemy Lines, Round 5, Newcastle Knights at McDonald Jones Stadium. We've got Ponga, Jenkins, and Tuala on the wings. Gagai and Best in the centres. Cogger and Hastings, a new combination in the halves. Jacob Saifidi, Brayley and Thompson up front. Frizzell, Pierce Paul, Elliott locks the scrum. On the bench, Crossland, Daniel Saifidi, Hetherington and Crocker. Coach is Adam O'Brien. I've got Gerard Sutton there as a ref, but I believe it's Belinda Sharp. So welcome in, Dean. Welcome back to the Mad Dragons podcast.
Hey, champions, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. We've played 43 times. Dragons have won 29. Knights have won 14. 974 points for the Dragons, 891 points for the Knights. The last 10 overall, we've gone 5-5. And that's where the good news ends for you guys. The last 10 at McDonald Jones Stadium, it's been 7-3. We can go back to the last 20 games at McDonald Jones Stadium, and it's 15-5. During that period, the Dragons strung together 9 straight wins. Would you know the reason why the Dragons are play so well at McDonald Jones?
Mate, plain and simple, we just don't turn up. Something, them games usually are more hungry than we are. But yeah, what can I say? Hopefully this week, for us, hopefully things will change with the new halves combination. But it's going to be a good game.
was just about to ask you about that. Gamble sacked sensationally. Hastings to half. Cogger to 5/8. Drastic moves by the Knights. Do you really think you need them?
Mate, I'm a big Tyson Gamble fan, so it's probably not the best person to ask for that one. But nah, mate, whoever they go with going forward, I just think we need to stick with it, pick and stick rather than chop and changing every 2 weeks. Nothing's going to change for us, but no matter who you got, you could have Nathan Cleary, who's arguably the best halfback in the game, playing for us. But if our forwards aren't going forward, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, I was just saying that earlier about our forwards. Our forwards need to go forward for something to happen. We haven't got a very fast back line, but if we can go forward, the back line could be sensational.
100%, mate. I've been really impressed with the Dragons last week. But yeah, anything can happen with you guys.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, like the way he's played against Manly, you're just too hungry. And I mean, if you just come up this way like that this weekend, we're in for a hell of a game.
Yeah. Leo Thompson's back. Oh, sorry, man. Leo Thompson's back. I had him as one of my ones to watch for the year. I like him. He's big, strong forward.
100%. Mate. Leo Thompson is one of those players for you to watch this year. He's just growing stronger and stronger.
Oh,
and, I really took him on board. He's one of the fan favourites in the household here. We've got a little sign there, the daughter and that will be holding up on the weekend. It says "Unleash the Beast." It's a big Leo Thompson picture. So
nice. We'll have a look for that.
Absolutely, champion of a guy.
I was just about to say, what does he bring that Daniel or Jacob Seifert doesn't?
I just think Leo's hungry, to be honest. Leo wants to be, I think he wants to be up in there and one of the best props in the game. And, he just loves Newcastle. He loves playing for the jersey, which is, a lot of players these days are only paying for the paycheck, where Leo's actually playing for the passion of the town and passion of the jersey. And he's just an absolute legend of a guy. Like, you go up and you talk to him and you get that James Fisher-Harris vibe from him, and he's just phenomenal, mate. And I'll tell you what, he's got a twin brother over there. Yeah, we're looking to get our hands on. So
I was just going to say that. He's got a younger brother kicking around.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the Knights. Talk to the Knights and see if we can offer him the lighthouse, offer him whatever they want just to get him over it.
They reckon he's better than Leo. So I think the Dragons should have a look at him too.
Nah, mate, you're cutting out there on that one. I couldn't hear that one.
All right. Let's move on. The 16-point loss to the Raiders at home. 1 point loss to the Cows in North Queensland. I lost to the Wars 2-point win over the Storm, and I lost to the Wars last week. After a fantastic finish to 2023, what's happened to the start of the season this year?
Oh, mate, I wish I had the answers, to be honest. I'd probably put me hat in for a job with the Knights, but I think we're down on confidence. I'm not a fan of chopping and changing the halves, like I've said. I wish we could have stuck with them. I mean, we beat the Storm. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest of wins, but we won. And then, I mean, Brody Jones gets that ball off Lucas. He could have scored under the post. We could have won last week.
I'm a little bit surprised they dumped Gamble too, because he offers a bit of niggle as well. He's good at putting opposition players off the game.
Right.
So you lose a bit of that as well.
And I would have loved to have seen him get into your winger, Lomax. So he would have took the bait, and it would have been a good spectacle. But mate, I think we're down on a bit of confidence with some of the players. I also think Tyson might be down on a little bit of confidence because you haven't seen much niggle of him. I think he's a confidence player, and when his confidence ups, he can really attack the line, take the line on himself. And he hasn't been doing that. But, I guess Jackson had to come back in as well. But I look at the future. Perhaps if Cogger and Jackson are firing, we could also bring Gamble in at 13, the ball-playing 13.
Possibly, yeah. And we were talking before about the Lomax situation. Would you swap Lomax with either your centres?
I wouldn't swap him for Marju, not a chance in the world. But Dane Gay guy's going good as well. But maybe you could have Tom. You could have Tom Jenkins.
What about Bradman Best?
Bradman Best.
Funny story you say
No
that.
chance.
All right,
Yeah,
my
no
last
idea.
actually. My last question is, how are you going to beat the Dragons this weekend, and who do the Dragons have to watch? Up the middle, mate. I think if we, with the return of Leo, if we can fire up the middle, then we can our outside backside Bradman Best, and they can get some early ball. Ponga can have do a bit of his magic that he does. We should loosely come away with the win, hopefully. But if you guys turn up like last week, anything's possible. But if we turn up too, also thinking, this is going to be an easy win, you'll pull our pants down, and all of us Novocastrians will go home unhappy, that's for sure. But funny story you say that about swapping wingers. Tanuva, or whatever his name is, the Penrith winger. Everyone that knows my wife knows Kylie's a crazy lady.
Penrith fan,
fan.
Penrith
And I
fan.
keep saying to her, well, he wants out, so we'll just swap Jenkins back for him. But yeah, she's not liking that.
Doesn't want Jenkins either?
Oh, not at the moment anyway. But no, he'll come good. Give him time. But it just
still
shows
young in
how
his
much
career,
Greg
isn't he?
Marshall does bring to our team. The last 2 weeks, we've really missed him. But, to be honest, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you really want Lomax at your club if he doesn't want to be there?
A few of us are saying yes, and a few of us are saying no. So we're pretty much split down the middle, I think.
I just...
we were saying earlier, it happened pretty easily. Like, there was talk about it happening. We were like, I don't know if they'll release him, and then it just come out. They were releasing him. So it doesn't seem like we put up much of a fight for some reason.
No.
I don't know.
I'm at the point, I think the bloke is a talent. He can play good football. But if he doesn't want to be there, I would rather have someone there that wants to play for that emblem. And if he goes, well, next man up, someone else will fill them shoes.
That's right, yeah. Exactly right. Exactly right. I think that anyway.
I mean, he's a talent. I think he just needs to keep his mouth zipped a little bit. And, mate, he's playing some good footy.
Well,
he is. That's right.
That's what we were saying. He's in line for Origin. So he's been playing out of his skin. He's in probably career best form. Might get selected for Origin, and now he wants out. You're kidding me?
Yeah, I found it a bit bizarre.
Something starts going on there.
But we can all see where he's driven. What he's driven by. He's driven by money, and he wants to play centre. And in the centre, you can make $300,000 more than you can get on the wing.
I'll say, but money doesn't buy happiness. I mean, it comes close, but
that's right.
Yeah, but
that's right.
Mate, while I got you guys there too, I want to throw something out there to all your supporters. I want to see some photos of your supporters at the game, and we're giving away a couple of fridges this year, NRL fridges, so you can win a St George fridge of your choice, and jump on board our page and put it on there. I want to see somewhere, and also just see St George supporters. The best St George supporter this week I see at the game is going to win a prize. We're going to throw you some a custom St George custom number plate and a nighttime podcast shirt for the best St George supporter down there.
There you go.
Nighttime. Give your podcast a plug. Tell us wherever we can find you.
Yeah, nighttime podcast, guys. Don't be fooled by the name. We're not just about the Knights, as our saying says. Every team, every tackle. We're all about league, so we do every team really. But yeah, we're gonna we want to get involved with more of you guys, more of your fans and podcasts. So we're gonna throw some prizes your way, and whoever
there you go.
throw us up a picture of you at the game, and we're gonna give something away to you guys.
Sweet. Well, we've come to the
time.
We've come to the time of night where we'd like to take a walk down memory lane. So come with me and take a walk down memory lane. McDonald Jones Stadium, round 4, 2021. Go back one, Jess. Yeah, there we go. Newcastle Knights versus St George Illawarra Dragons. Crowd, 21,770. Always get a good crowd up there. The Knights team was Hoy, Toa, Tuala, Shibasaki, Hunt, Mann, Pearce, Clemmer, Bailey, Brayley, Daniel Seifriedi, Frizzell, Barnett, Sue. Sadamata Sue was a good player. I liked him. Watson, Jacob Seifriedi, King and Green. Coach was Adam O'Brien. For the Dragons, we had Dufty, Ramsey, Braden Williami in the centres with Lomax, Ravalava, Norman Clune, Laurie, McCulloch, Vaughan, Kerr, Sims. On the bench, Fasul Malawi, no it wasn't, it's Farmasili. Merrin, Alvano on forward. Coach, Anthony Griffin. Next one, please, Jess. The first try came in the 9th minute to Gehamet Shibasaki. He scores the try, Newcastle 6-0. He's one of only a few players in the NRL that's got Japanese heritage. So I couldn't find anybody else. Craig Wing was the closest, so there's not many of them. Dragons' first try came in. Oh, no, this is the pec injury to
He done his pec that game, that's right.
He done his pec that game.
Put a shot on
Tarek Sims. He was out for a few months there. So, next slide, please. Dragons' first try came in the 36 minutes through Trent Merrin. Adam Clune put up a bomb. Tex Hoy dropped the ball cold. Trent Merrin cleaned up, and he goes over 6-all. Next time. 39th minute, Kurt Mann kicks a field goal. Dragons, Knights lead 7-6 at halftime, but just before halftime, Tex Hoy limps off. He done a hammy, so he was missing for 4 weeks after this game. So halftime at McDonald Jones Stadium, Knights 7, Dragons 6. 46th minute, the Knights go further ahead with Josh King scoring a try. He crashes over. The Knights 13, Dragons 6. The 51st minute, Tarek Sims scores a beautiful pass, a sublime pass from Adam Clune, puts him through a gap bigger than the Sydney Heads. Simsy under the posts. Dragons lead 13-12. And then this collision happens. Whoa, what a big hit. Ravalawa into Kurt Mann. Next slide. Kurt Mann. Oh, but Kurt Mann's on the floor. He only missed a couple of games after this one, so he got up and played on. He's a tough bloke. Played for the Dragons as well. Mm-hmm. And then the 59th minute, Blake Green tries to put a kick downfield, but Tarek Sims is there. He charges down the ball, regathers, scores under the post. What can't he do? Sims in for his second try of the game. Dragons lead 18-13. In the 67th minute, Braden Williami scores a try off a beautiful Corey Norman kick. He was absolutely fantastic. Sat up in the goal, and he was like a dog on the bone. Like a dog on the bone. He wasn't going to let that go. Dragons try to Williami. And that's it. Let's walk down memory lane behind enemy lines tonight. It's a great game, that one. Great Dragons win. And I think we'll do the Knights on Friday. And as I always say, Jesse, the rest is history. Back to you, mate.
Thank you to Big T. And I'll go to you, Dean, and give us your final word and what's your prediction for the game on Friday night? And expecting a big crowd up there again?
Mate, we're actually supposed to get a fair bit of rain, so that could change a lot of things. Supposed to get a lot of rain on Friday night, so we still pack it out. Rain, hail or shine, we all go. We're crazy no matter what, but I think it all depends on the weather and who can play the better wet weather football. I'm obviously going to take me beloved Knights, but I'm not confident, mate. The way you guys played last week, anything's possible. So I'll take the Knights in a close one, Knights by 4. But yeah, I'm not, overly confident.
Dragons fans do like to travel up there too. I know a lot of fans that like doing the road trip up there.
Yeah, well, I've got a bloke sitting next to me. He's got a head for radio, so I haven't put him on, but he's a big St George fan.
He must be a good bloke.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is, man. Good on you, buddy.
He's wearing the good colours.
Yeah, no,
he's even representing as well. He's representing as well.
Yeah, no, that's enough of that one.
I can tell you why we always play well here, because we've always got a good following. So
yeah. But talking of seeing you saying you enjoy Jesse Sue, I talk to Jesse Sue on a regular basis, so I'll get him on soon, and I'll send a link your way. But absolute legend of guy, still killing it over in England. But Trent Merrin's another one that we'll be having on soon, another St George.
Oh, nice.
Former great. So,
There you
yeah.
go.
But anyway,
Nice.
guys, best of luck on Friday night. May the best team win, I suppose. And as long as it's a good game, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But
And the referee stays out of it.
Oh, we won't go there, that's for sure. But, anyway, guys, as you can see in the background, we're still in the studio, just wrapping up from tonight.
All right,
so jump on board, mate. We'll love to have more of you guys involved with us and touch base and maybe, doing a few things together. And,
Sweet, no worries.
Good to be involved with you guys. And hopefully you don't beat us by too much.
All right, thanks very much, mate. You're a champion, you're absolute champion. Thanks for coming on again. And we play the Knights again this year, do we?
Yeah, I'll double check that. But if not, we'll be in the semis, that's for sure.
We'll see you in the semis. That's
If not, we'll see you then.
Thanks, guys. Anytime you need me on, just give us a shout out. I'm happy to help out.
No worries. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Referee's a part of me.
Guys, I might have to bail out as well, I think.
All right.
All right, Daz. Thanks for coming on. Before you go, just give us your quick prediction for Friday night's game.
Oh, hard to say this one. I'll say the Dragons by 4.
Dragons by 4. Who do you think's the star?
I reckon Sully's due. I think I said it earlier. I reckon Sully's due for a big game. Benny Hunt as always, but yeah, I think Eisenhuth will put in his regular performance and have a good game. But my breakout player is Sully, I'd say.
All right then. Thanks for joining us, Daz, and enjoy your night. And see you next time.
See you, boys.
Toodles.
All right, so we'll move into some lower grade news now. So no word on the junior representative games this week. It might be just a week off before they head into the semi-finals that they are now that their regular season's over. But we got the New South Wales Cup 10 there. They'll be playing as the curtain raiser before the NRL game on Friday. They'll be kicking off at 5:45 p.m. at McDonald Jones Stadium. And then the Jersey Flag will be playing on Saturday at 1 p.m. at the Newcastle Centre of Excellence. We'll move on to some news and views. So recently the Dragons have delivered a combined $10,000 to the St George and Wollongong hospitals. So purchasing new and vital equipment. So we had Dragons players Tara McGrath-West, Dan Russell, Sione Finau, and Connor Mollison presented the proceeds from the Charity Shield to Wollongong's emergency department. $5,000 will go towards the purchase of a specialised video laryngoscope that will ease and intubation of patients in the emergency department. The team not only saw a demonstration of how the new addition works, but spent time visiting other parts of Wollongong Hospital. While at St George Hospital, Keely Brown, Corey Ackers, Finau Latu and Loco Tonga were on hand to present a further $5,000 to St George's Hospital's intensive care unit, with donations going towards the purchase of an MRI transport ventilator that will assist patient monitoring during internal hospital transfers residing inside the intensive care unit. The players were all shown the machines, and they had previously purchased one with the addition of another machine allowing greater service. So the quartet had some opportunity to spend valuable time with another group of patients and caring staff in the hospital's rehab gym, chatting all things life and rugby league. And all the donations from the proceeds from the Charity Shield went towards both St George and Wollongong hospitals. So I'll throw that to you, Hasman. What do you think of this initiative that the Dragons have gone to visit hospitals and give these hospitals a worthy cause? Big part of our community.
Yeah, it's a fantastic initiative, and hats off to them for doing it. I mean, the Charity Shield's all about the community, and it's a fantastic thing for the club to do. God knows we could do with the goodwill the way things have been going recently, but No, it's a fantastic effort. So, huge thank you to everyone involved.
Yep. No, 100%. And I agree with that. And then, all the proceeds going to that. And it's very good to see the money going to the hospitals and help care for those patients that are in really need for those things. And it is paramount to have those people looked after. Okay, now we'll move on to our tips for round number 5. So it kicks off Thursday night at Amy Park. The Melbourne Storm taking on the Brisbane Broncos. So the Melbourne Storm, a few big ins for them. They welcome back Cameron Munster, Jerome Hughes, Christian Welch is also back for the Broncos. They are unchanged. Actually, Ben Takura makes his debut off the bench. The tallest man to ever play in the NRL. So there's big raps on this guy. Big T, what do you think in this game? Storm Broncos.
Benjamin Takura. He's going to be a monster. What's he? It doesn't say in his bio how tall he is.
I think he's 7 foot tall.
7 foot tall. So he's going to be able to fall over at the 10-metre line and put his hand over and score a try. You know that, don't you? He is. He's going to get tackled on the 10-metre line and still be able to put his hand over and score a try. Now, I think it's down in Melbourne, isn't it? Yeah, I think Melbourne,
yep.
I think Melbourne in Melbourne. No, I think Melbourne might win this by about 12 points, I think. With having those players back, Munster's back, Christian Welch is back. Whether they start or not, who knows?
Jerome Hughes.
Jerome Hughes is back too.
Jerome Hughes will be there. Munster will be there. So they got their halves combination back. Christian Welch is the one that might slip into the side. But yeah, no, I think Melbourne in Melbourne.
You agree with that one, Big T, Hasman?
Big T, Hasman.
100%. I think.
Thank you, Big T, Jess.
Well, got about the same amount of hair. I think having Munster and Hughes back, that's massive. I'd probably go Broncos without that. But Melbourne at home with their first string halves back, I don't see the Broncos being able to get past them.
Yep, I think I haven't really made a call on this one, but at the moment, I think the Storm can get them close. The Storm historically have a good record against the Broncos, and I think they can get them by 2. I think it'll
be a tight one, but
down there.
I think the experience of the Halves will get them home.
Yeah.
So on Friday, the early kickoff will be the Bulldogs and the Roosters. The Bulldogs, Samuel Hughes goes in and run on the side to replace Liam Knight. Josh Curran comes in for Jacob Preston, who's out for 6 weeks with a broken jaw. Harrison Edwards and Kitione Katoga are the new faces on the Bulldogs bench. The Roosters have made a few changes as well. So Lindsay Collins returns from a hamstring injury. Angus Crichton into the run-on side, pushing Satili Tupanua back to the bench. And Terrell May also back to the bench to accommodate the return of Lindsay Collins. Who do you reckon this one has been? Bulldogs or Roosters?
I'd have to go to Roosters. They were disappointing last week. They'll want to come back from that. I just cannot, in all good conscience, pick Canterbury. I don't give a shit who they're playing. I can't do it.
No, who they played last week? The Titans, bro. Bulldogs, didn't they?
Bulldogs played the Rabbitohs.
Oh, they got beat, didn't they? Yeah. So the Rabbitohs are crap. I think the Roosters bringing those players back into the side just makes them stronger. Lindsay Collins, he's a state of origin player. He's a beast. I think the Roosters by plenty.
Yeah, I think the Roosters will be hurting.
And I also think Liam Knight looks like Fred from Scooby-Doo now. Yeah, look at him. Look at his flowing blonde locks. He must be
not even playing this week.
Yeah, I think he is, isn't he? He must be Scooby-Doo night play. He's on the bench.
Yep, he's off the bench, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Roosters this one. They'll be hurting from that game last week, and they want to get back on track. The Bulldogs just don't look a team like they can ice a win at the moment. I mean, they had their chances to beat Souths last week, and they just couldn't come away with the clutch play to win it. And I think the Roosters will be keen to bounce back. Friday night, the other game on Friday night is our game, which we'll get to a little bit later. 3 p.m. Saturday at the same venue, Souths taking on the Warriors. Souths, a few changes for them. Isaac Thompson comes in for Alex Johnson, who's out for 6 weeks. I can't recall what his injury is. Dean Hawkins still at number 7 for the Bunnies. And that's all the changes for the Bunnies. For the Warriors, Tamare Martin comes in for Luke Metcalf, who's out for a big chunk of the year with an ankle injury. Jackson Ford, he had an impressive game last week, and he's still there, and there's actually talk about him as being a bolter for Origin.
Bullshit.
No, I'm serious.
No.
And yeah, the Warriors are pretty much... RTS goes back to centre. He had a 10 out of 10 performance against Newcastle last week with Chance Nickel-Crookstad back at the fullback. Big T, who do you like in this one, Souths or the Wars?
I like the Wars in this one. They've got more double-barreled names in their team. They've got Charles Nickel-Crookstad, Dylan Martinez-Lesniak, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Adam Fanua-Blake,
Tamare Martin.
Tamare Martin, but Souths have only got 2 in their side. Tui Tapu Thompson and Michael Cheekham. So I reckon the Warriors because they got more double-barrel names.
Asman, I think, are you backing up Big Ten going the Wars for your boy Jackson Ford, or?
Is there any point in saying no? I think, I think the Wars will be too strong. It's been a long time between drinks as far as the Warriors are concerned with the Bunnies. So I think they're about due for a win, and this could very well be the night that they do it, and Jackson Ford to score a hat trick.
All right, so 5:30 Saturday. The team we took down last week, Manly, they'll be taking on the 3-time defending premiers, Penrith. Manly are unchanged from the loss to the Dragons. The Panthers welcome back James Fisher-Harris, pushing Maverick Guy out of the 17. Hasman, who do you like in this one?
I like Penrith in this one. Manly were bloody ordinary last week. As much as I'd like to say that we were good, Manly were just as poor. And I mean, you have a look at the Penrith side, you'll notice that there's no Nathan Cleary. I don't see that to be an issue. Penrith actually have a better record without Cleary than they do without Luai.
I'm taking you going by Penrith by plenty.
So Luai has more wins without Cleary than Cleary has without Luai.
I wish I'd said that. I've got the Panthers by 14.
Big T.
Yeah, I think the Panthers. The Manly were but at Four Pines Stadium. It's a bit of a fortress. They beat the Roosters out there, and I think the Roosters are a chance for the premiership this year with the players they have. They got their $20 million salary cap, so so I think they can go close. But yeah, I think it'll be Panthers by a few. I think Nathan Cleary will affect them somewhat because they have lost a few of their good players over the last few years. So I think the Panthers by a few, I think.
Yeah, more of the same, I think. And James Fisher-Harris is a big in for them too. Gives them some starch up front. Manly, I just don't see them, and they looked a bit sloppy the last fortnight, and I can't see them getting back form against the informed Panthers. I think the Panthers will win by plenty. 7:30 Saturday, so it's the first time we see a head coach taking on his little brother.
Yeah.
It's Jeremy Marshall King up against his brother Benji Marshall.
His big brother.
The Dolphins and the Tigers. So the Dolphins Ray Stone comes into the side with Max Plath out for a hip drop. And Kenny Bromwich is into the 17 for the Dolphins. For the Tigers, Bud Sullivan comes in for Lachlan Galvin at 5'8", with Galvin out for 2 weeks for a hip drop. And Latu Fanu will make his debut off the bench in jumper number 14. And Alex Twal returns from concussion. This could be an interesting game. 2 form teams. What do you like, DT?
Both leading the comp as well, aren't they? The competition's actually 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. There's only three different points. There's 6, 4, and 2. So yeah, they're running equal first. The both of these teams. Tigers had been playing well, haven't they? But the first round when Jaden Sullivan was in the side, they didn't look very. They looked pretty pedestrian. But bringing Galvin in, that's just seemed to pep that team up so much. And that was probably the worst hip drop I've ever seen by Lachlan Galvin. He just crumpled him, didn't he? That was terrible. I think Wayne Bennett's boys might get the chocolates up at where are they playing up at Suncorp. So yeah, they get the chocolates up there.
You agree, Hasman, or you think the Tigers can make it 3 in a row?
No, I don't think Tigers can get anywhere near him. I mean, Galvin's a massive out for him. And judging by the way the Dolphins bloody towed us up, I can't see the Tigers getting over that. But I hope Bud Sullivan has a bloody good game. I'd love to see him back with us. But yeah, I think it's too much for Caesar to do to be the main guy.
Yeah, more of this. I actually agree with both of you. I think Wayne Bennett will identify that the weakness that is Bud Sullivan in defence, and I think he'll try to exploit that. And up there, I think just the defence and the way a Bennett team is good in defence and very resilient, I think that'll just be too strong for the Tigers. I think the Dolphins will just frustrate them out of it, and they'll get the win up at home. On Sunday afternoon, it's a Queensland derby. The Cowboys taking on the winless Titans. Cowboys, they're unchanged, it looks like. Unchanged from their heavy defeat against the Broncos. The Titans, Desi's rung in the changes. Khan Pereira has been dropped. New recruit Harley Smith-Shields comes onto the wing. He's just joined from the Canberra Raiders. Philip Sami's out, so Jojo Fafita comes in on the wing there. John Manjoloff ships up to the front row. Aaron Clark into lock. And Josiah Pahulu will make his NRL debut off the bench with Big T's boy Isaac Fasul Malawi, number 18.
Isaac Fasul Malawi. You got to go, Fasul Malawi. Yeah, Fa'a. That's right. Anyhow, Titans, what are they doing, man? They've scored about 12 points or something. It's been absolutely diabolical in 3 games, 1 bye. They've only got 2 points because of the bye. I really feel sorry for Blaze, the guy that comes on with us. He's a nice kid. But some of his videos that I've seen, man, he is hurting. I think the Cowboys would be too much up there. Tom Dearden and Chad Townsend, they'll control everything.
What about that run? What about that tackle on Cobbo the other night? That was a great try saver.
Oh, Dearden's tackle on Cobbo, yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. I don't know if anybody else would have caught him. Like Cobbo's not the fastest player in the game, but you see, watching Dearden, he was catching him metre by metre, running into the corner, and then took him out. It was a Scotty Sattler tackle in the 1997 grand final or whatever it was. On Burn. I'll see you later, Hasman. On Burn from the Roosters. But yeah, it was great. I think the Cowboys will have too much for the Titans, and I won't be surprised if this is a 50-point scoreline.
Do you agree with that, Hasman, or the Titans? Do they grab their first win of the year?
No, they most certainly do not. I agree completely with Rory McDonald. Cowboys by 120.
Two or beat Pesa Spanish Spanish.
I think so too, but I'm surprised they didn't make any changes. I mean, Todd Payton was livid in that press conference.
They've got nobody. They're like us. They lose their frontline players. There's nobody to come through.
They've got no depth.
Well, they've got Thomas McCaley, who was impressive in the trials, and they haven't looked at him yet. So, I don't know what the problem is, but
super sub for the grand final, I reckon.
Anyway, the Cowboys, I reckon, they'll be disappointed with last week. Their problems, their defense, they don't have any problem with attack. They can score points, but their defense lets them down, and that's why Brisbane really exploited them the other night. But I think they'll have no trouble beating the Titans. I think they'll be too good for the Titans. Could be anything this game.
So they can score points, yes.
The Cows, yeah.
Oh, the Cowboys can score points, yeah. But the Titans have scored 18 points in 3 games.
And then the final game of the round down at the nation's capital on Sunday evening, it's the Raiders against the Eels, both losers from the last round. Ricky Stewart was absolutely embarrassed with the Raiders' performance. They led 18-0 and coughed up. He hasn't made many changes. Arda Mariota comes into the run on side in the back row. Simi Sasungi will make his debut off the bench, coming from Newcastle, and Corey Horsburgh still on the bench. He had a shocking game as well.
He made about 7 errors, I think.
The Eels, Bailey Simonson back in centre. Morgan Harper has been dropped, and Ryan Madison goes into the back row with Kelma Tuolangi back to the bench. And I know you're a fan of him. Wiremu Greg will play his first game of the year. Big team.
Oh, yeah, he should be. He's a good player, Wiremu Greg.
Hasman, who do you like in this one?
Look, I think the Faders are well and truly back. Para were bloody awful against the Tigers, so I'm going to pick Para by 2.
Big T, you think more of the same, or you think the Raiders will bounce back at home?
I think the Raiders will bounce back at home. Dylan Brown, he told Arthurs he wants to play halfback. He wants to fill Mitchell Moses' spot, but he didn't fill Mitchell Moses' spot last week. I was watching one of the NRL shows on Fox, and what's his name? The ex-Roosters half. What his name was? No. Cooper Cronk.
Yep.
He was saying that you can learn the halfback role. I don't think Dylan Brown's going to learn the halfback role. Not this week, not next week. It won't be for a few weeks. And Mitchell's out for up to 12 weeks. So, so Moses is out up to 12 weeks. So I don't think they'll be quite ready to have Brown at halfback. Tulagi, Blaze, he didn't have a bad game last week, but like he got towed up a couple of times by Galvin. I think Raiders bounce back this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go the Raiders too. Not with any confidence though. They were very disappointing last week. Ricky Stewart was embarrassed, and I saw all the game or parts of the game, and there was so much drop ball from the Raiders, and they did a Dragons. We led 18-4 against the Cows and then got rolled, and they did the same thing, and they'd never recovered. They actually have put in a complaint regarding Daniel Holdsworth running in
come on.
About running in the eye of Jamal Thody when he's taking a kick goal. So
what a crock of shit. Absolute crap. The guy was off the field. He wasn't even on the field. So what did you want next? Do you want the crowd to be quiet?
Yeah, that's what
Is that what Ricky wants next? Tell the crowd to shut up. You're a dickhead, Ricky.
Well, a couple of years ago, Nathan Parramatta was fine because there was a player.
I watched that game.
There was a player running in front of the goalpost when Nathan Cleary was taking a goal. That was fair.
Completely different situation. Completely different. This guy was on the field.
Yeah.
Daniel Holdsworth was off the field. He was 3 meters away.
Yeah.
Fogarty wouldn't have seen him at all. He was looking at the ball, looking at the goalpost, looking at the ball, looking at the goalpost.
That's not the reason he missed it.
No, it's not the reason he missed it.
Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going the Raiders at home. But
I agree
not
with
any
Peter down
confidence.
there. Peter Placido Valencio. I agree with him.
Ricky's a sook.
Ricky's a sook. How you doing, Pete? Thanks for joining us.
And he's the prize winner.
Thank everybody for joining us. Loved having you.
Yep. And thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We'll move into predictions for our game against Newcastle. So it's not often we get a Friday night game. So main game on Friday night. So I'll throw to you, Hasman. What do you think is going to happen in this game on Friday against the Newcastle Knights?
Look, there's as we discussed with Dino, there is considerable rain forecast, so I think that'll probably take out a lot of the speed threats of Newcastle. Might blunt Sloane a little bit too potentially, but I think it's going to be one in the forwards, and I think the way that we've been playing the last couple of weeks, I reckon we'll get the better of them in that battle. Having said that, it's not going to be a massive win by any stretch. I'm going to say Dragons by 4, and I don't think Ravalawa is going to score because I don't think Sully knows how to pass. But I reckon Sloane will get a couple. I reckon.
Yep. Big T, you think we can get the chocolates at Newcastle?
I think we can get the chocolates. We can get them by a few points. I think Sloane, he can walk on water. So if it rains, he'll just glide over the top, mate. Over the top, mate. Let's see, go over the top every time. He's equal leading try scorer this year at the moment. So him and Sunia Taruva are the two players that are leading the try scoring with six tries. I think he'll get one this week. He'll get another one, go to 7. He might even get another 2. And I think Ben Hunt will score any time as well. So I'm going to say Dragons by 12.
Dragons by 12. I think we can do the Knights. As we said earlier, I think the key for us winning is to shutting down Kalen Ponga. If it's going to be wet, I think the defence we have shown in patches of games this year, we could frustrate the Knights. Looking at them this year, their only points have come off the back of what Ponga's done in games, and they rely on his attack to get him into the games and put him in those try scoring situations. If it's going to be wet, I reckon kick the ball as much as possible, try and get out of our own area, and just smash it out. I'm talking about Kyle Flanagan and Ben Hunt. They've got to smash it out and keep the Knights standing their own end. If it's a dry game, I think the Dragons can just get their sets rolling and go forward, and just keep Ponga out of play if it's a dry track, because you don't want him running because you know how fast he can be if he finds open space. We have had a lot of joy up there at Newcastle.
15 from the last 20 we won up there.
And that game you actually brought up, Big T, but that was the last game we did play at McDonald Jones Stadium.
It was, 2021, yeah.
They visited Wollongong and Cogra the last couple of years, so it's been a happy hunting ground for the Dragons, and I think that's going to continue. I'm going to go the Dragons by 8. I'm going to go Sloane to get a try, and I'm going to go Jaden Sewer to get a try at any stage. I think he'll get another try. He's looked good last week, and I think he'll get one. And I might even go with Smokey Luciano. They may score one at some stage as well, and get over one of his old mates in Tyson Frizzell. And then we'll move on to we'll move on to our last bit before we sign off. We got our Etsy store, so get all your Mad Dragons merch. None of the panel are in the merch tonight, but all the latest Mad Dragons vodcast merchandise is on there, including all our number ones, as Donnie revealed on Sunday's show. So anyone that likes any of our number one players that will be revealed over the next couple of weeks, that those shirts are available, and any shirts in particular as well, whether you like a Blake Laurie or a Tegan Berry or just a Mad Dragons podcast shirt in general. Stubby coolers, Muzz's League of Legends podcast, their stubby coolers are available as well. And don't forget, we do have our sponsor, Complete Warehouse Solutions. So go visit them at 6 Commerce Drive in Lake Illawarra. Give them a call on 0417 223 409 and 4257 1930. And we'll go see the team at 6 Commerce Drive, Lake Illawarra. But we'll leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you to our major sponsor, Complete Warehouse Solutions. Thank you to our special guest, Dean Smith from the Nighttime Podcast. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. As always, we'll be back on Sunday to wrap up the game against the Knights and maybe talk about some other news and views as well. So come on, Dragons fans. Fire up.
Fire up.
Fire up.
Watch this show. I'll jump out and rip your bloody arms off. I love Danny Jack.
Coco is at Pell's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As must tell tales of dragons, wins and Judah victory. Tony and the MV crew will do their very best. Picking up the can on our breast with a red thing on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie. Navigating ranks down rabbit holes in the land of the big red bees. And so I pedal speak the tales of friendship is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, funded by our team.
Good night, everybody.
Fire up.